working. This is Jacob Cass 2024. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to my live stream. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Leave a comment. Please subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comment section below if y'all want to see more. Now, while I play Fortnite, we're going to talk about WWE Monday Night Raw review. We'll also talk about TNA and the pay-per-view happened last night. The summary pay-per-view. We'll talk about that. Now, this can be like, this live stream, this review, going to be like an hour long. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hope I'm doing the right one here. Now this looks different than last time, but, alright, anyway. I want to make sure this is the right one. I hope this is, alright, yeah, this is the right one. Not sure if anyone can hear me, but, just want to say, thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. Please subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comment section below if more. While I play Fortnite. Hold on. While I play Fortnite, make sure you guys hit that like button. Hold on. I need like the mode. Here are the settings here. Hold on. Oh, here's the volume. Turn down the volume just a little bit. A little bit of the sound effect. Alright. Turn that off a little bit. Alright, so I think I got that. Alright, now let's get back into the review of Monday Night Raw. Now, we are going to talk about what happened on the show. The show was fine. It went a lot longer than it usually does. The show went a lot longer than it usually did. I think all that mattered was the opener and the ending. We had some good matches on the show. We had a couple of good matches. Now, they still haven't announced the tag team match. Maybe they'll do it next week. They already announced a lot of matches for SummerSlam. SummerSlam had like a 3-week build. It has a 3-week build. So, the show had like a 3-week build. They already announced the 7 matches for the show. We had a couple good matches here. Roman Reigns lies. Karen Cross laid the pipe on what? Roman Reigns lies. Now, this is what we got on Monday Night Raw here. I actually wanted to show you what happened on TNA, if I can find it. Want to see what happened? See if I can find TNA first. Hold on. Hold on a second. Hold on. See if I can find it. There's been reports that WWE buying TNA. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention my video is sponsored by PlayStation, sponsored by my favorite podcaster, Solomon, JD from New York, Fight for Pro Wrestling, and some other podcasters I know of. Alright. Here's TNA Slamboree 2025. The return of AJ Styles. We had the Dudley Boys return, the team in the match with the Hardy Boys. Trick Williams retained the TNA title against Joe Hendry. Yeah, so Black Legends and some of 12. A lot of heat here. There were a lot of matches on the show. Is that it? Alright. might as well get right into Monday Night Raw. This is what we saw in the show. The show opened up with CM Punk and Gunter. Punk and Gunter trade shock and verbal jabs. They went back and forth. Gunter tell Punk he would never be World Heavyweight Champion. We had a backstage segment with Naomi and Stephanie Valkyrie backstage. Clearly they're teasing that for Clash in Paris, I believe. Sheamus and Rusev, they go to war. That was match of the night. That was the best match. That was a great match that they had. That was the best match on the show. Sheamus got the victory. Pretty much 50-50 booking. I'm pretty sure Rusev won, was it last week or a couple weeks ago? Might have been 2 weeks ago. But they do 50-50 booking. Sheamus won. He could be lined up to be the Intercontinental Champion if they do go that well. So, yeah. Yeah, so, Sheamus and Rusev was match of the night. That was a great match. Sheamus got the win. We had a backstage segment with Grayson Waller introduce himself as Big G to the New Day. Why are they teasing Grayson Waller to join the New Day and be like Dick Count Big E? And the New Day really hadn't done much since they lost the tag team titles. It's not their fault, just how they've been booked. Yeah, so, we got Trick Williams on the show. Hold on. There we go. We got Trick Williams. He was on the show. Trick Williams, he was on the show. He goes off on The Undertaker. We know that The Undertaker can be on NXT tomorrow night. Probably have a confrontation with Trick Williams. So, he was on the show at TNT Champion. He cut a small little promo backstage. We did get a triple threat match to see who will face Judgment Day for the tag team titles. The LWO defeated the LWO beat American Made, and they beat the New Day. So LWO got the win. They won after Grande Americano costs. I think they caught, who they cost again? No, actually no. Wait, I don't know. I forgot who they cost again, but whatever. I think Grande Americano caught somebody. After Grande Americano confusion, I think he went after the LWO and he attacked the Dragon Lee backstage. We know that Grande Americano is Ludwig Kaiser. We also had a pretty good back and forth segment with Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria. They agreed that the match will be no disqualification for the Women's Intercontinental title. I think it's time that they just end the feud. Yeah, they changed some words here. We got a nice little brawl. I think Lyra got the best of Becky. She hit Becky's own move on her. So that could be a pretty good match. We got a nice little stipulation. Time to end the trilogy. Time to end the feud. Hold on. Yeah, so, alright. We got Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. They defend their tag team titles against Bayley and Lyra. Obviously, Becky Lynch got involved and caught Bayley and Lyra the match. So, Roxanne and Raquel Judgment Day, they retained their tag team titles. Obviously, they're going to SummerSlam defending against Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. Match was fine. It was alright. We did get a backstage segment. Dominic Mysterio attacked AJ Styles after he gets cleared, finally. And now we're going to get Dominic and AJ. Hold on a second. Yeah, so, Dominic and AJ Styles for the Intercontinental title has now been cleared. Yeah. We also got Karrion Kross versus Sami Zayn again, a rematch. They pretty much did 50-50 booking. Karrion Kross got the win. He beat Sami Zayn. So that was okay. Yeah, so that was pretty much it. We also got a pretty good match with God damn it, man. Jeez. Alright, whatever. Alright, so the other match that was pretty good was Stephanie Valkyrie and Io Sky. That was a great match. Alright, hold on. Now hold on. Trying to get to the other podcasters here so I can invite some of my other friends.
Considering the amount of TV time.
Alright. I want to make sure that this is right. Okay. Alright. Making sure this is right here. Any other podcaster that I know of? Hold on. Try to make sure I have all my podcast friends out here. Or I probably gotta go to this. Hold on.
Fucking need Paul Heyman, alright? You put Paul Heyman with CM Punk. CM Punk was already the WWE champion. He was already a fucking made man, alright? You put Paul Heyman with fucking Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns really didn't need Paul Heyman. What the fuck is Paul Heyman, like, putting him with anybody ever done for them? Nothing.
Shit, honestly, besides Punk and Braun.
Yeah, the Roman segment does a bit of...
Brother, we support you as well.
Thank
By the way,
you,
Chris
Chris.
Wrestling Views, when do you be going live again on your channel? If you do want to support, Chris Wrestling Views has a YouTube channel as well. And
He wasn't with The Undertaker. What I'm saying
Yes,
is,
he was.
these guys got over... And she said she should be at the premiere of...
Oh, whoops.
They lost a bunch. Not great. Move them to SmackDown.
Oh, no, because But I don't know if they're gonna, how long they're gonna go. Then learn, Braun!
Hold on a second. I need to find a hiding spot. Alright, now I can go back to what Denise Salcedo.
Houston, I've heard a lot of people.
Probably the best advice, Roman. We got Mr. Grimbley here who says Swerve and Hangman kiss and make up. Why can't they? I don't know if I want to see that, bro. I don't know if I want to see that. Donkey says Gunther doesn't need catchphrases, which...
An angry, pompous, annoying Paul Heyman there because he had his muscle there with him. Like, what are you going to do, Roman? I've got Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker here, but seeing him all of a sudden kind of like tuck his tail between his legs and try and get Roman back, acknowledging him, trying to play to him. I don't think that was particularly what I wanted out of that particular confrontation. I wanted a vindictive Paul Heyman, an unapologetic Paul Heyman, and I'm glad I did what I did, Paul Heyman, and that's not what we got out of that.
And it would have been easy to do that too, because like you mentioned, he had Bronson Reed there, he had Braun Breaker. He could have easily said, you know what, these guys are the future. They are the ones that are gonna dethrone you, that are gonna do bigger and better things than you. And it was so easy to go that direction. But so Santi, you bringing that part up, bless you. That part, not only that, you know what promo I didn't like? I didn't like Braun Breaker's promo. I thought, who the hell wrote this for Braun Breaker? Why are you making him seem so lame? Like, Braun Breaker is hella cool. I'm such a big fan of his, but I didn't like that they had him go out there and say, oh, Roman Reigns, you are so yesterday. Nobody even wants you here. Like, bro is not blind. Bro is not deaf. Like, you saw all of the people going crazy for Roman Reigns and then him basically saying polar opposite, right? And then when he said, oh, I'm the big dog now, I'm like, no, because everyone hated when Roman Reigns was the big dog. Like, you don't want to associate yourself with that. So I kept thinking to myself, who wrote this promo for Braun Breaker should have written something entirely different to make Braun Breaker look cool, to make Braun Breaker seem like an even bigger threat to Roman Reigns.
I didn't think of it initially that way, but I'm kind of vibing with what you're saying here. I like your little rant there. It kind of reminds me, like to say nobody wants you here after hearing that thunderous pop for him. Kind of reminded me of when you remember when it was Gunther and Randy, that feud last year, and Gunther's like, Randy, you've been a huge disappointment your whole career, Randy. It's like, brother is a 14-time world champion. What are you saying? I think it was kind of similar to that. I've heard better Braun Breaker promos, but to me, honestly, I kind of vibe with what Roman said. I didn't hear any of that. I didn't hear any of that. All I saw was the face-to-face, and I'm like, that's what I'm here for this physically right now. The promo kind of by the wayside. I didn't really care for it, but it didn't do anything in terms of making me lose excitement for the future prospect of that match. That's still the match to do for Braun Breaker.
Yeah, I agree with that. But my favorite part, honestly, like you said, was the end when Roman decided to say, oh, your mic doesn't work. Here, hold mine. And he throws him the microphone.
Yeah, that was good.
That was sick. I almost wish that it would have been, I would have loved this more had, like you said, Paul Heyman gone out there and told Roman, hey, I don't need you. This is the future. And then had Braun Breaker just had a better promo that made a little bit more sense. And then with that ending with the spear from Braun Breaker to Roman Reigns, and then Jey Uso coming out to help even out the odds, all of that would have been 10 out of 10 no notes for me. So unfortunately, some tweaks should have been made for this, but overall, it just feels exciting to have Roman Reigns back here on the show. So thumbs up, looking forward to the matchup.
The show is just better when Roman is there. It just is. That's the one thing I was saying during the live stream. I'm like, the show, WWE just needs Roman. The world of the WWE just feels more special when he's around.
Yeah, exactly. We got a couple of super chats here. Let's see what the people are saying. We got AJ Tripp. AJ, thank you so much for this generous super chat. He says, Denise and Santi, a TikToker by the handle Pure Brain Rot, has compiled all the WWE title holder reigns. It's amazing to go back and reminisce about these beautiful, wonderful moments in our wrestling life. Check it out when you get the time. Hey, AJ, thank you for letting us know about that. I'm not as familiar with like everything going on the TikTok world, so thank you for letting me know. But I think things like this, when you go back and you reminisce on big moments or big championship stuff, it really is cool to kind of take a step back and look at some of your favorites, right, Santi?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually looking it up right now.
Yeah, see, he's on it. He's on it. Thank you, AJ. We got Casey Poole here who says, Santi, the Pumpkin Hogan, won't put the Sancho Man on the thumbnail and makes Denise Savage wait before joining the post show. But he's gonna have to put over Carrion and the Glaze Factory tonight. How sad! You gotta get Sancho on the thumbnail.
Listen, there's a huge swerve. I've got a huge plan. It'll be revealed at SummerSlam. Everyone's going to be eating their words. The freaking podcast brain rot just follows me even to this show. Listen, I'm not pumpkining. They say I'm a pumpkin after 2 hours of work, I can't be entertaining, or I start losing my voice or whatever. And when the podcast hits 2 hours, I turn into a pumpkin. Is the meme.
I get it.
But yeah, keep the brain rot content from our podcast out of here, okay? I'm trying to be normal here. I'm a normal member of society.
Bippity boppity boo. Come on, we gotta get you. We gotta get you out of your pumpkin face. Thank you, Casey. We got Infamous Ritter Loco who says Santi needs a few minutes after taking Blue Chew promo code Denise. After having Dom and Cross all on Raw today, I did love the AJ appearance, made it funny. AJ was hilarious today, just in and out the entire show. I know that's your boy, Dominic Mysterio, and now we're getting Dominic versus AJ Styles for the Intercontinental Championship. How'd you feel about seeing AJ come out as a, what was he today? He was the valet, he was the medical personnel, he was the janitor.
Yep.
I think that was it, right?
I think that was it. Listen, first and foremost, I want an apology from people that were trying to...
At Granger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail. The ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small...
They were going into that match, and it was a soulless feud. It was just going to be a match for the sake of a match. That being canceled was the best thing that could have happened for both of these guys, because they've been able to create a fun little feud, a dumb story that I'm so excited for. The whole night I'm like, where's AJ? Where's he gonna appear? And it's so good. This is one of the stories and feuds I'm now the most excited for going into SummerSlam, and it's just such, humor in wrestling when done correctly is so good, and we're seeing it here.
And AJ's always been that guy. I mean, I know the first thing you think about when you think about AJ is what an extraordinary, phenomenal wrestler, right? But he's also got he's got a funny side. He knows he has good comedic timing, and we've seen it, here and there, right? Even though he's still not the comedy guy, he still has it, though. So even the moments where he did pop up, though, I thought were great, because every time he popped up, I still wasn't expecting him. Even the third time, I still wasn't expecting him. So I think they did a good, clever job of making him appear in these circumstances surrounding Dominic Mysterio. And I'm looking forward to the matchup, man. I went from a place of, man, I can't believe... I remember a few years ago when we first saw Dominic and AJ Styles on Raw, and I recall Dominic defeating AJ. I was so mad, Santi. I was like, I can't believe they had Dominic Mysterio beat AJ. What kind of shit is this? Right? I went on a whole rant. I was so mad for a whole week. And now I'm at a place where I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't be upset if Dominic defeated Styles.
Sure. Get on the train, Denise. There's plenty of room. We don't gatekeep. There's a seat right next to me right here.
Wait, Santi's not gatekeeping me for once?
You can come on in. The Dominic Mysterio waters are warm, baby. Come on.
I can't believe it. Thank you, Infamous Raider Loco. We got Kobe Smith here who says, I think LA Knight and Jay were supposed to have a match with the Bronze, but since Seth got hurt, they pivoted and booted LA Knight. Poor LA Knight. I mean, honestly, we won't really know until whatever happens,
I see it, though. I see what he's talking about. I totally see that having been LA Knight's destiny for SummerSlam, and with him not being on the show today, I don't think he's on the SummerSlam card.
Well, what else are they going to have him do unless they throw him into something random?
I don't know, another Slim Jim Battle Royal, maybe?
Shit, I didn't even think about that, a Slim Jim Battle Royal. Did they do that last SummerSlam? They did,
they did 2 SummerSlams ago, I think. I don't think it was the last one. When did he win that Slim Jim car? I don't remember. Somebody in the chat's going to have to correct
Maybe that was a year or 2 years ago. I'm not exactly sure.
No, definitely there was no Battle Royal last year, because I went to SummerSlam. I would have remembered.
So then the year before that was most likely the Battle Royal. Okay. Aw, man. October Horseers, LA Knight is always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Unfortunately, that's kind of true right now.
No, bridesmaids at least get to be on the show. He's more like a one-night stand. You fucking chuck it, then you don't really take to the wedding at all.
How sad. Not even good enough to be the wedding date.
You don't even get to be the wedding date.
Savage. We got Bob Ross Jr. here who says, I like how they have Stephanie doing a side quest so she can have a match at SummerSlam. How surprised were you today when they decided to make Io versus Stephanie here tonight?
I got down on my knees and thanked el Dios. Muchas gracias en el nombre del Padre, del Hijo, del Espíritu Santo. I was praying to the Lord. I didn't think we were worthy enough to get what we got. We were blessed today. We were blessed, Denise. We were shined by the light of the incredible match that was Io Sky and Stephanie Buckhead.
That pop, by the way, after the announcement was made backstage that Stephanie had accepted her challenge, that said everything. Everybody was feeling the exact same way that you were, thinking, oh shit, they're actually doing this matchup. Like, I can't believe it. Stephanie, as of right now, she doesn't have a match for SummerSlam. Like, she doesn't have her PLE match until Clash in Paris. So, and there's 9 matches announced right now for SummerSlam, and then you're gonna add the Roman match. That's gonna be 10 matches there. So right now we're like at 5 and 5 for each night. I think that we've been seeing more like 5 to 7 matches per PLE. So there is still time to add a matchup for Stephanie if they wanted to over at SummerSlam. Like, that would be sick if they did.
I mean, they got something there with the Secret Hervis. It could end up being like, if they bring back the Bellas and Stephanie Buckhead versus Chelsea Green and the Secret Hervis, they could maybe run that. I don't know.
But Stephanie and Io today, they got a good amount of time, and I was so thrilled because I was starting to worry towards the end how much time they were actually going to give this. And everybody knew, okay, this match is going to end in some sort of DQ. Like, we know that there's going to be shenanigans. What shenanigans, we're not really sure. But my way of thinking was, I'm just happy if we get at least 10 to 15 minutes worth of this match, because I just want to see them wrestle. Even if I know no one's actually winning this match, I just want to see them wrestle. And of course, we saw Chelsea Green get involved with the Secret Hervis and all of that into this matchup, so that caused, the DQ on that. But I almost didn't care, Santi, because of the match that we got to see unfold. Like, they just did some really nice, smooth wrestling. That's all I could ask for.
I saw God during that match.
I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Thank you, President Donald J. Trump, for securing our border.
Show, they announced a lot. Like, on paper, it looked like a pretty stacked line.
Let me do some shout outs real quick here in the chat. Just say hello to everyone, and then we got a couple of pieces of news to get into, and then we will get on with the Monday Night Raw results. Again, I want to thank you for being here tonight. Thanks to everyone. Please do me a favor, smash that thumbs up button. Please subscribe if you are not yet a subscriber. Any super chats that come through tonight will be answered, and of course, memberships are open as well. And
we had a back and forth between them, and honestly, what I enjoyed the most about that closing segment was the interaction between Roman Reigns and Braun Breaker. We got that for the first time tonight. And I thought the key line was when Braun Breaker stepped up to him and he said, "I'm the big dog now." That's going to be a big match. It's not going to happen at SummerSlam, even though we still have no official announcement about what the match is going to be, but by the time it was over, Jey Uso had come out to even the odds after they attacked Roman. It was yet again another setup for what you would think is going to be a tag team match for one of the 2 nights at SummerSlam. But Roman Reigns against Braun Breaker, really, that's the match that I want to see. That's the match that a lot of people are going to want to see. I don't know when we get it. I hope we don't have to wait until WrestleMania or something like that. But you can certainly save that match for another PLE. But that was my favorite part of the closing segment tonight. Io Sky and Stephanie Buckhead, you may remember right after WrestleMania, they put them together in kind of a random match on Monday Night Raw. And we didn't really get a finish. It's a very good match. Tonight was more of the same. That was not part of the lineup. For all the things they announced about Raw before the show came on the air tonight, that was not something they announced. And it was a match that they put together during the course of the show tonight, and they gave them time, and they went out there, and what happened? They had a really good match. And then we got the finish. Now, you had imagined that we weren't going to get a clean finish here, even though, Io is the one who is going to SummerSlam in a championship match. Stephanie, at this moment, has no match at SummerSlam, but she did win that Battle Royal at Evolution. So, She's going to get a world championship match. We just don't know yet against who. I mean, we know, but we'll know for sure once SummerSlam is over. But we had two of them in the ring tonight, and that was a very good match until it was marred by Chelsea Green and the Secret Herbis, who don't even go here. They don't even go here. They're not even on the show. And they ruined it. They ruined the end of what was a very good match here tonight. AJ Styles and Dominic Mysterio. You know, AJ Styles had quite the night last night. He had an entire pay-per-view built around him. He is really the reason why TNA broke their all-time attendance record and had almost 8,000 people in the UBS Arena last night. And I was here covering Slammiversary. We go from that last night, making his TNA return, and just like the returning conquering hero, right? The prodigal son returns. Tonight, he wore many hats here on this show. We got a lot of wardrobe changes from AJ Styles as he pursued Dominic Mysterio. We had this show-long storyline. Dom was doing everything he could to avoid being evaluated.
But this is just according to Daniel, so we'll see if that's true. But according to Daniel Cormier, Brock Lesnar is on the TKO ban list, and do not expect to see him back in WWE. So I'm kind of cool. That gives us a little bit of closure if that's true. Now, if Brock shows up at SummerSlam, I'd like to know who Daniel's sources are. But you know, he claims to be in the know here, and he probably would be. So we'll see. But it sounds like Brock will not be appearing back in WWE, most likely ever. So, yeah, news on Brock. Also, Eric Bischoff. He was a guest on the Ariel Helwani show today, and he said a lot of things that Bischoff usually says. He was there to promote his Real American Shitty Wrestling, of course, and then he had some comments about TNA's Slammiversary last night. And he was very complimentary to TNA drawing their house, and admittedly, he was very complimentary to AEW drawing the 27,000 or whatever it was for All In. You know, but then, you know, the fragile male, you know, you can't stop it from bubbling up in these guys. And Bischoff is one of the biggest ones, because once Tony Khan did some sort of an interview a couple years ago, said something about WCW or Turner or something like that, and Eric Bischoff took it so fucking personally, and he's been a little butthurt bitch about AEW ever since. You know, it's so obvious why. He's just a fragile man. You would think he was denied access to a fucking after party or something. Just completely turned on him literally overnight. And he's just been so obnoxious ever since. And he's been so transparent. You can see right through his pettiness, you know, and the things he says, and how, you know, how obsessed he seems to be with disliking that company, how obsessed he seems to be with touting his numbers that he feels are bad. They've been dropping all these numbers. They're only pulling in 500,000 something. Even when they pull in 600,000 for Dynamite, they are still number one on cable. It is a different game today. Nobody is ever going to be pulling 1997 or 1998 WCW or WWE numbers. Those days are over. There's streaming, there's YouTube, there's your phone, there's podcasts, there's 1 million different types of ways for you to consume the content now, where back in the day you had one way and one way only. Watch it on that night or stick a tape in your VCR. Nothing else. You know, so it's very, very different now, and Bischoff has just kind of been a little bit silly about the whole thing. He doesn't even believe these things he's saying. He just says them. Well, of course, there is a small camp, and you look online, it's the fragile men. It's the fragile male syndrome coming out. And they're all saying the same thing. Boy, I think that, you know, if they get a TV deal, you know, TNA could, you know, in real quick time, you know, overtake AEW as the...
What are you doing up there?
Oh, I'm just posting the number of visitors to the Homes.com network this month. It's become the go-to home shopping site.
Punk and John Cena, I noticed it during that, was they do this thing where you have the person come out, they say their shit, and then they leave, and then it's not till the next week where the person gets to say the next thing back, and then they leave. So they did that again today with Gunther and CM Punk. I was so excited to see a back and forth between CM Punk and Gunther, and they just had Gunther talk his shit, and then afterwards, he just left.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, no, this is not how this, like, stop doing this. And I feel like they found a way to, like, elongate these stories, but bro, we're 12 days away from SummerSlam. We don't need to be waiting every week for someone's response. And now that I've noticed it, Santi, I can't unnotice it. It's my new big pet peeve.
That was basically the entirety of John Cena and the Cody Rhodes feud. It's become their formula, and I don't like it.
No, I'm with you because anybody knows here. Santi, if you and I were beefing it right now, do you honestly think that if one of us talked all this shit, that the other person would just be like, okay, bye? No, you would talk some shit back.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your Monday Night Raw post-show for July 21, 2025. I am your host, JD from New York. As always, coming to you live from the OTS Beer Garden. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on this Monday evening, wherever you may be. We are just about 2 weeks to go before SummerSlam. What are we, about a week and a half? 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks before SummerSlam. We got one more Monday Night Raw before SummerSlam. Shaping up to be a very good card, man. I did not think WWE was going to put together a card that was worthy of 2 nights. I had very much struggled with the idea of a 2-night SummerSlam just based off the pay-per-view or PLE calendar. Coming out of WrestleMania, they have been non-stop every 3 weeks. It's like Vince is back, because this is the way it used to be. Every 3 weeks, there's a PLE. There's a Saturday night's main event thrown in there somewhere. Don't like it. I actually don't like it. I feel like a lot of the stories don't have time to breathe. A lot of the stories don't have time to materialize. And when they don't have time to materialize, a lot of it feels rushed, and a lot of it doesn't really feel substantial enough for you, the viewer, me, to emotionally invest, and it just happens. There's no real story there. It's tough to tell a true story in just 3 weeks. WWE tonight took Monday Night Raw, which normally on Netflix goes anywhere between 2 hours and 20 minutes, 2 hours and 30 minutes, maybe. Tonight was the longest Monday Night Raw. They even went longer tonight than they did on January 6th for the debut. They went 2 hours and 45 minutes tonight. From my notes, the longest Monday Night Raw of the Netflix era. And a very much needed Monday Night Raw in the way that they delivered everything that they had to deliver on the way to SummerSlam. We got several stories progressed tonight. We got a couple of more matches announced for SummerSlam. WWE really loaded this show up. I even said on social media, a couple of hours before the show around dinner time, I'm like, man, WWE really loaded this show up. It is a full top-to-bottom show, and they even added a banger match live on air that wasn't even advertised on the homepage if you go to WWE.com. We have Rusev and Sheamus. We have the women's tag team titles on the line. We have Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez against Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. We had a number 1 contenders triple threat men's tag team match. Number 1 contendership for the Judgment Day's tag team champions. We got the LWO, we got the Creeds, we got the New Day. We got Roman Reigns on the show. We got CM Punk on the show. We got Gunther on the show. Face to face with Gunther and Punk. A little disappointed with that. Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman. First time that they've met face to face since that spear on the Raw after Mania. Braun Breaker and Roman Reigns. The first time in almost 4.5 months, we got some sort of words back and forth between Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns. WWE added Stephanie Vaquer and Io Sky in the quote-unquote main event of the show tonight to build what's happening going into SummerSlam and potentially tease what could be at Clash in Paris. I thought from top to bottom, structurally, everything that they needed to do, I thought WWE hit a home run tonight. I thought it was a very good show. The only down point of the show, if I had to choose a down point, was Houston. WWE was sold out in Houston tonight. Houston loves their WWE. I think the last time they came to Houston, too, was also a sellout. But man, oh man, the crowd, this was a very, very picky crowd. They chose what they wanted to cheer for, and the other stuff, if they didn't care about it, they did not react at all. Gunther was out there. They're throwing what chants at Gunther? Roman Reigns is out there. They're fucking chanting OTC, OTC. They're trying to get the European chants started in Houston. They were calling Paul Heyman an asshole. They loved Io and Stephanie Vaquer. They loved Rhea Ripley, who came out to help Stephanie and Io. Everything else that was thrown in there, if they didn't like it or they didn't care about it, Houston was dead quiet, bro. It's almost as if they reacted to everything but some of the in-ring action. They reacted to the entrances. They reacted to the music. They reacted to the promos. Everything but the pro wrestling. I don't know what happened to Houston tonight. I thought Houston was a great crowd. I thought the Texas scene really is a great state that WWE periodically visits. I thought they were good crowds, but tonight it was not all that energetic. It was quite quiet through at least more than half of the show, up until maybe that women's main event and then Roman Reigns coming out at the end. It was the most consistent they've been loud all night. There's a lot to talk about. Roman Reigns is back. Obviously, we know where that's going. There really isn't much to dissect. Roman Reigns gave his feelings on Paul Heyman saying that Roman ruined the bloodline. Roman claims that he didn't ruin the bloodline. I don't really see it that way, because Roman's greed and selfishness ruined the bloodline. Paul Heyman only did what he had to do because he owed CM Punk a favor. I don't think Paul Heyman ruined the bloodline. Roman had ruined the bloodline well before Paul Heyman made his decision to join CM Punk. Roman's greed and selfishness and his ego ruined the bloodline. But they met face to face for the first time since WrestleMania, and like I said, there really isn't much to dissect. We all know that Roman's going to be at SummerSlam. He's been on TV now 2 consecutive weeks. A lot of people want to see Roman and Braun. I still think that's on the table at some point. I do think that's going to be a major match when it does happen. But right now, WWE is looking to get as much out of the orange, as much juice out of the orange as they can with this Seth Rollins group before Rollins, I believe, comes back at SummerSlam and cashes in that Money in the Bank contract on CM Punk and wins the World's Heavyweight Championship. We'll talk about that a little bit later as well. I made a whole video on it. I do think that it's a work. I do think that's one big psyop. We'll go over it again, and I'm sure me and Jason will talk about it tomorrow on TNT. It's going to be Roman and Jey Uso against Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. We can't leave Bronson Reed off the show. We can't leave Braun Breaker off the show. They are going to work as a unit in the absence of Seth Rollins, and Roman and Jey Uso will have their SummerSlam match via that tag team match. I thought tonight's Monday Night Raw was excellent, except for the crowd. The substance was there. The crowd, not so much. So we'll definitely go over all that. Becky and Lyra, they had a nice little segment tonight where they added a little bit more oomph, a little bit more stipulation added to their match at SummerSlam. Now it is a no count-out, no disqualification match between Lyra and Becky Lynch for the Intercontinental Championship. And Karrion Kross was on the show. Another wrestling match for Karrion Kross. Didn't really do much for me tonight against Sami Zayn. We'll definitely go over that as well. Thank you guys for joining me here on the Monday Night Raw post show It is your Monday, July 21, 2025. I did watch Slammiversary, if anybody was asking in the chat earlier. I did watch Slammiversary.
Do you have that really great non-alcoholic beer?
Athletic? You're looking at it.
God damn these damn commercials.
Ask for it.
No break. Rusev boots him while Sheamus is
show. You'll have a great time, and everyone is so fun at the shows. Like there's never any issues with anybody. Everybody just goes to have a good time.
The advice I always give people, it might not be like necessary advice for PLEs. I always tell people get there early, especially if they're going to a Raw or SmackDown, because they film main event at WWE speed. So you just get like an extra bonus match. Like when we went to SmackDown to film that, like from the Nosebleeds video, we got to see like Inamura before he was like starting to take off on NXT. So get there early. You might get some dark matches.
Thank you, Nick DeVito. We got Kickface here who says that was at the show and it was awesome. Hey, Kickface, I'm so glad you got to enjoy Monday Night Raw live. Hell yeah.
Oh, Drew's in my chat says like the most important piece of advice: wear deodorant.
Oh yeah. Especially if it's hot, man. If it's hot, take that deodorant, bro. We got Sin City Sane here says, I agree with Santi. 8K tickets sold and probably more pay-per-view buys than normal because of WWE, technically. They are getting more eyes and are working on building TNA to be bigger than AEW. Slow burn, but I think it's happening. I hope so. I hope you and Santi are right. Honestly, I really, really do. Thank you, Sin City Sane, for the support. We got JJ Castillo here who says, do you think Cody will win the title at SummerSlam despite he's filming a movie after that? Also, you think a double turn happens with Cody and Cena? I was always under the assumption that Cody was going to get his title back. I'm maybe like 60-40 now on whether or not he's getting his title back, but before like when he lost at WrestleMania, I swore he was getting it back at SummerSlam. Now I'm not so sure. I know a lot of people are expecting a double turn. I'm really not expecting a double turn. What about you, Sanji?
I don't think I'm expecting the double turn. I think Cena's going to continue to be heel, but I was pretty certain Cody was going to win, but now I'm not. Now because of this movie schedule, it's really throwing things off. And that Cody tweet, remember the like don't flinch or whatever may come.
Oh yeah.
Just stick with me or something like that. And he tried to address it on SmackDown, but I do think I thought that was him talking about him leaving for the movie.
We got Uncle Donk here who says, I'm a fan of both promotions. Can't believe I'm saying this, but AEW has been better this year creatively so far.
Plug for this new WWE Unreal show, which is kicking off not tomorrow, but next Tuesday on Netflix. It's this behind the scenes, like reality series, docu-series, whatever you want to call it, where they take you into the writer's room. They're pulling back the curtain. As if the curtain hasn't been pulled back enough, they're going to pull it back even more. And so he's, doing a plug here for this show. And again, he says that this takes you into the writer's room. This is what he says. I'm watching the show. And he's doing a promo, and it's not his fault. He's just reading the slop that they gave him. But and so I knew the show was coming, but I didn't realize, I guess, that they're going to be doing live promos for it on the actual show, talking about the writers' room. It just doesn't sit well with me. I'm sorry. I know it's a brave new world now, but this is not good. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. But I'll tell you what's even better. He plugs the show, right? He says, let's take you to a sneak peek. And the sneak peek ends up being footage from backstage at the Royal Rumble, from the gorilla position, of Triple H when they brought Tozawa back. Oh shit, we need somebody to go out there. And he looks over and he sees I Show Speed. And he tells him, Speed, we need you. Go out there, right? It was just an angle. It was a fucking angle that they did on the show that led to the Braun Breaker spear, which was amazing.
Cross defeated Sami Zayn by hitting him in the ribs with that steel pipe that he had, thanks to Scarlett. Is this doing anything for you, Santi?
Not really. I don't know where this goes. Do they get a SummerSlam match? Does this have legs for a SummerSlam match now that they're tied? And I mean, Sami Zayn's a big name to leave off of both WrestleMania and SummerSlam in 1 year.
Ah, shit! I just realized you're right. He wasn't on WrestleMania.
Same with Bayley. Those are
Bayley's
really
a
big
one,
names.
yeah.
I don't know. I really thought that they were gonna find something for Sami for SummerSlam.
That's wild. That's wild, man. I'm pretty sure they'll find something for Sammy. I don't think he'll be off the card. I'm telling you, I think they can do 7 and... I mean, maybe it's too much. I don't know, but I think they can do 7 and 7 matches on night 1 and night 2, but I'm reaching. I might be reaching on that. All right, that is our show, ladies and gents. That is Monday Night Raw, July 21st. Santi, before we wrap things up, tell the people...
A big favorite to beat Becky Lynch, IC title. I think that we do see Bayley. Fucking point. Even though I haven't said anything.
At the end of August, and Naomi expects to be champion after SummerSlam, so a little tease there to Clash in Paris, and yes, I do believe that will be the match. I think Naomi will retain at SummerSlam in that triple threat. Then we had Sheamus and Rusev 2. Let me know what you guys thought of Sheamus and Rusev 2. I thought it was a banger. It always tends to be with Sheamus. I think Sheamus is one of the best wrestlers in the world, to be honest. And I think this was also the right outcome. I'm happy that Sheamus took this one because I wouldn't mind them going a few here. Like, I don't know what they're going to do with either one of these guys otherwise. You know, this is kind of a clean-ish win here because Rusev did go for the shillelagh, but got bro kicked. I mean, hard. Hard right in the face and went down for the win. But for the most part, it was a fight that Sheamus won. There was no interference, there was no bullshit, not too many shenanigans, just a fight that Sheamus won. So, you know, you could squash it here.
Hold on. Hold on a second.
Up at ringside, yanked him down off the apron. The Creed's got in Americano's face until Cruz del Toro wiped them all out with a corkscrew plancha off the top. In the ring, Kingston and Woods set up Wild for their midnight hour finish. Wild chucked Woods out of the ring and then caught Kingston with a schoolboy for the surprise win. And yes, it was a surprise win because the LWO doesn't win a fucking match on Raw. If they do, it's a surprise. So good for them. They actually won a match on it. And Karrion Kross, too. It was the night of surprises here. But the LWO now, they are the #1 contenders for the World Tag Team titles. They didn't say when they were going to get their shot. I don't think it's going to be SummerSlam because apparently you're not allowed to do tag team title matches at SummerSlam. So it'll probably be a Raw match next week or the Monday after SummerSlam. But good for them. They never win anything, and they're not going to win this either, by the way. I'm fairly certain of that. Unless they were going to put the belts on them just to quickly transition them to another heel team. But I just can't see that happening. Now backstage, Io Sky, Asuka, and Kairi Sane. They were all hanging out in the locker room. They were chatting it up. The Kabuki Warriors and the former Women's World Champion. Talking about all the championships they're going to win in the future. We're going to win the Women's Tag Team titles. And Asuka says, you, Io, you're going to be the Women's World Champion again. She wishes Io luck against your friend, Rhea Ripley. Now, Asuka didn't say it with a smirk on her face or a sneer. It was an odd comment, though, and then she and Kairi left, and the look on Io's face is what really told the story here, because she was like, she was a little confused, like, what do you mean, your friend Rhea Ripley? And I thought, we're getting a tease here. Maybe a little jealousy brewing. Give me Asuka and Io coming out of SummerSlam. When Io fails to win back the championship, maybe it's a sign. that we're going to get Asuka and Io, like in a proper feud. And we'll get a match between the two of them. So after Asuka and Kairi walk off, Stephanie Vicaire enters the room. And Stephanie points out that if Io wins the title at SummerSlam, that means it's going to be the two of them one-on-one at Clash in Paris for the championship. Io says that she had Stephanie beat the last time they faced off and suggests we don't need to wait until Paris. We could do it right here tonight in Houston. And you could hear inside the arena, everybody popped. They loved that. They were down for a Stephanie Vicaire Io Sky match. I can't say that I blame them. I mean, who wouldn't be? So that's how this match officially came about. Elsewhere, Dominic Mysterio is with Adam Pearce and says, I can't go to medical right now. Pearce is trying to prod him. You got to go to medical. It's time to be evaluated. Because I can't. Raquel and Roxanne, they need me. They just texted me. And Pearce says, you got to stop stalling. You got to stop. And he walks off. Dom turns around, and there is AJ Styles. And AJ Styles is dressed as a janitor. And he is mopping the floor. And Dom obviously is caught off guard by this. He tells him, I'm not cleared, AJ. AJ says, you will be. So Dom runs off. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, who just lost in their triple threat match, are also backstage. And they can't believe they just lost. Styles tells him, hey, watch the floor, it's wet. And they're looking at him like, what the fuck? Like, what is this? What is going on here? And AJ exits the scene. And New Day was just confused by everything. They're like, the simulation is broken. Kofi looks up at the heavens and says he needs tech support. Woods says that we've got to do something here to restore the order. Grayson Waller shows up. He has great news. He shares that Austin Theory is injured. He says 240 pounds of dead weight off my back. Now that means I'm available to join with you guys. If you guys are looking for an ace, I'm a free agent. Kingston and Woods, they're very confused. But they tell Waller, hey, that sounds great. We love it, even though clearly they don't. And Waller left the scene. I don't know. This is the first I'm hearing about Austin Theory being injured. I assume he's not actually injured, and we'll come to find out that he was probably attacked at some point by Grayson Waller. And then we end up getting a proper match between them, and most likely, a proper match between them in a random episode of Raw during the 9 p.m. hour. But if this really was their way of finally putting an end to this friendship and finally putting an end to this partnership, 2 years of this shit, okay? 2 years. These two guys have been partnered up. It was after he got annihilated by John Cena on the microphone, and then he went to WrestleMania and he beat John Cena, which didn't mean anything. It meant absolutely nothing to Austin Theory's career. It was actually a huge negative for his career. That whole storyline was. But it was coming out of that, I believe, that we got the first of this pairing between the two of them, right? 2 years of this shit. And I'm watching this and I'm thinking to myself, you can't possibly be ending this off camera like that. Like, is this truly, like, can you imagine after 2 years of this shit, if they just decide, you know what, we're going to end it by doing something off camera and just acknowledging it and then moving on? Not that I'm complaining about the fact that this team is now over. I mean, I've been talking about this and how ridiculous it is now for over a year that they kept, like, stalling and dragging it out. So, look, I have no issue with them ending this tag team because it's just beyond ridiculous that they were even still paired up at this point. But to get no follow-up to it would be pretty ridiculous. So I have to imagine that is what we end up getting. And that we get an Austin Theory babyface turn. They'll do a match on some random episode of Raw. I saw that Waller posted a minute-long video on his X account where he was bashing Theory again. So clearly it feels to me like this has to lead to something. I mean, if it was going to lead to a match on Main Event, why even shoot this angle on Raw? And we'll see if the Austin Theory babyface turn goes anywhere. You know, you can turn Austin Theory babyface. It doesn't mean anything if you don't actually want to push the guy. I've never gotten the impression that Triple H sees in Austin Theory what Vince McMahon saw in Austin Theory. When Theory started getting a real push on this show, it was because of Vince. Vince literally paired himself up with Theory on TV. So whatever he saw in him, if you look at the way that he's been used over the last 2 years, you cannot tell me that Triple H sees in him what Vince sees in him. I think he certainly deserves an opportunity. I think that part of the problem is going to be the fact that he's just been marginalized for so long. Is it going to be easy for fans to suddenly buy into him in this new role? You don't know until you try. Doesn't mean he doesn't deserve the opportunity. It's not as if they're doing anything else with him as a heel, so you may as well give it a shot. You know, he's a talented guy. I think he could potentially find success in that role, but does Triple H want to see him succeed at that level, or does he look at him as a lost cause? You know, is he going to push him because he genuinely wants to push him, or is he going to try to push him because he feels like, well, we got to do something with this guy? I don't know. But he doesn't strike me as a Triple H guy. If he was a Triple H guy, he wouldn't be in the position that he's in. For his sake, I hope it works out. For his sake, I hope they actually do some kind of follow-up to this. Because it would be pretty fucking ridiculous if they don't. So after this, it was time to hear from the Women's Intercontinental Champion, Becky Lynch. She was on her way to the ring for a promo. She told the fans to put some appreciation on her name. She should have been at the premiere tonight of her new movie, Happy Gilmore 2, but instead she was in Houston. She called out Lyra Valkyria. Valkyria joined her in the ring. Becky said that their trilogy would end at SummerSlam, and she recalls saying that she would never challenge for the title again if she lost the previous match they had, which of course Becky ended up winning. So she challenged Lyra Valkyria to the same stipulation. If you can't beat me at SummerSlam and win the title, you can never again challenge for the Intercontinental Championship. Now, I think the difference is, unless she misspoke, I didn't hear Becky say you can't challenge for it.
We've been traveling together for 10 years now. And the best part isn't just the places we go.
Not roll before SummerSlam. Oh, but they'll save that for next week, everybody says. Why didn't they give us more tonight? Was it illegal for them to do it? Did they not want to do it because they can't do it? No, they just did. They didn't do it because they didn't want to do it. Whatever the fucking reason is. Should have been more. Absolutely should have been more. Byron Saxton. He tried interviewing Stephanie Vaquer. Lucky guy. They were interrupted by Naomi. Naomi and Stephanie had never met before. Naomi introduced herself as the world champion, which she is. She cashed in at Evolution. Stephanie said she knew who she was. Naomi said that they would see each other at Clash in Paris at the end of August. Stephanie said that would only happen if she survived SummerSlam. Naomi was offended by that comment and was confident that she would see her in Paris. She did her evil laugh, she left, and she left Stephanie very angry that Naomi kind of threw it back in her face and was healing it up in front of Stephanie. Little tease. I do think that's going to end up being the match. I don't think Naomi's going to lose the championship at SummerSlam. I think that would be a mistake. Unless something, the only reason Naomi loses the championship is because WWE was given notice that Naomi's going to take some time off. Now, I read, I don't know how factual this is, Rikishi, on his podcast, has stated that he's been trying to convince Naomi and Jimmy Uso to settle down and have a family. Meaning Naomi step away from wrestling and have a child with Jimmy. I don't know how likely that is now. I don't know if that's going to be the situation now because that was in the news today. But if that's not the case, Naomi should not be losing the championship at SummerSlam against Io and Rhea. If she does lose the championship, it could certainly be in Paris to Stephanie Vaquer. And even then, it might be too soon. Why? Because Naomi is doing the best work of her career. She is killing this gimmick. And like I said several weeks ago, I said it after Evolution, I said it on that Raw after Evolution. I was the only one who called attention to it in this podcast thing. Monday Night Raw needed a top heel. I was pushing for Asuka to turn heel. That did not happen. WWE went a completely different way. They gave Naomi the briefcase to cash in not on Tiffany, but on Rhea and Io, and become the women's World Heavyweight Champion, moving from SmackDown to Raw. Now they got the best heel on the fucking roster in the women's division. Naomi's doing better work as a heel than Becky, character-wise. They needed another top heel for the other baby faces to feud with: Rhea, Io, Stephanie. Naomi is such a good heel and getting great heat, and she's very admirable in the ring. They got a winner over there on Monday night, and that was a great move to make. So yeah, WWE should be teasing this, because I do think that this is going to end up being the match in Paris. First match of the night here, Sheamus. He went one-on-one with Rusev. This was just as good as their first match. I wouldn't say it was better. Maybe just by a smidgen it was better. Crowd was a little bit better here than I thought they were last time they wrestled. This is their second match in a few weeks. Houston did not really get into it until we got towards maybe the last 5 minutes or so. This went almost 15 minutes. And this is the first thing that I said when Rusev and Sheamus were on the brand together and we knew Rusev was on Monday night. I said it. You guys know what I said. I'll save it for after the match. You know, if you listen to me, you know exactly what my mentality was for both of these guys. How I would use them creatively, you know. This was very good. Couple minutes in, Sheamus. He went to the top for a dive off the top rope. He lost his balance. He jumped down. He went back up. And he jumped from the inside to the outside, which was fucking crazy. Because old man Sheamus jumping off the top rope to the outside off the top rope, that's something that I don't really want to see. Not that I think he's beaten and broken down, but Sheamus isn't as nimble as some others. I don't think he should be jumping off the top rope to the outside on Rusev, but he did anyway. It's a flying clothesline to the outside. Rusev quickly grabbed him after that flying clothesline and hit a fallaway slam over the announce table, and we go into a commercial break. Sheamus is right back into it as soon as we get back from the break. He went for the bro kick. Rusev caught him in the running animation of the bro kick and powerbombed him down for a 2. Rusev went for a big machka kick. Sheamus nailed him with a great-looking knee strike and a cover. He only got a 2 count. Sheamus then went up top. He came up the top again, and Rusev hit him with a thrust kick, and he went for a cover, and he got a 2 count. Rusev now with Sheamus down. He goes quickly to apply the accolade. Sheamus got to the rope to break the accolade. Rusev booted Sheamus, and Sheamus is once again asking for a little bit more. He did the same thing in their first match, which is very Sheamus-like. He loves the beating. He does. He's a badass. Rusev then ripped the padding off the metal turnbuckle rod again, just like their first match. Sheamus bounced Rusev off of the metal rod instead, and that gave him an opening. The referee went over there to fix the padding. I don't know why that was all of a sudden a fucking priority in this match, to go fix the fucking padding on the turnbuckle rod while these two guys are beating the shit out of each other in a competitive match. Yes, let me go fix the turnbuckle pad. Who cares? Rusev grabbed Sheamus' shillelagh. He tried to cheat with the referee's back turned before he was able to use it. Sheamus nailed him with a devastating bro kick. And they showed replays of this a few times. And my God, man, right to the jaw. Right on the side of the face. 1, 2, 3, and Sheamus gets his victory. They are now 1-1 in this battle of beasts on Monday night. Now, Rusev, he cheated in their first match. Sheamus did not cheat in this match. Rusev tried to cheat again. Now, I don't know if Rusev is going to be heel and cry that he cheated at Sheamus, and maybe we get a match 3, but if we do get a match 3, that's as far as I go. I see some people on social media saying, they should do a best of 7. They should do a best of 5. No. Now, based off the crowd reaction that we got in the first 2 matches, I don't want to see a 5th match or a 7th match between these two. I think that's completely overdoing it. 1 more match would be enough. They are now tied 1-1. Why would I only do 3 matches? Because that's more than enough to get across what you need. They basically are even at what they are able to do to each other. Rusev is not able to beat Sheamus. Sheamus is not able to beat Rusev. So in the end, they come to a mutual respect. And at the end of all this, they become a tag team. And you make Sheamus and Rusev a tag team. A tag team in a division that desperately needs tag teams. A tag team in a division where this tag team would instantly be the number 1 tag team in the division. You add them to the Judgment Day. You add them to the New Day. You add these guys to those teams. The Creeds. The Viking Raiders. You got some sweet division right there. Could they use more teams? Absolutely. But the Monday Night Raw Tag Team division compared to the SmackDown Tag Team division is fucking awful. Let's be honest. You go 3 matches, nobody comes out on top. Or if you want to choose a winner, it ends in a way where they both end up mutually respecting each other. You make them into a tag team. Rusev is not working out as a heel. He's not. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the crowd is looking for. It's not working. His music is fucking terrible. I'll tell you that right now. His entrance and his music is terrible. You don't know what the fuck is going on, and all I hear is dead silence when his music hits. You talk about AI-generated slop. That's Rusev. Can I have a theme that is significant to a Bulgarian professional wrestler? And out shoots that slop. Whatever it is. It's not over. The music has a lot to do with that. It's not connecting. These foreign heels don't connect. Gunther's lucky. He connects in the right way. Rusev is not connecting. You know how he's going to connect? When you turn him into a babyface and pair him with Sheamus. That's going to connect. Because everybody loves Sheamus. And when Rusev is with Sheamus, everyone's going to love Rusev because he's with Sheamus. They need to be a tag team. Sheamus has got a few more years left. I know a lot of people are probably going to be saying, well, what if he joins Rusev? What happens to his quest for the Intercontinental Championship? Who gives a fuck? It's the last thing he's got to do on his bucket list. All the time in the world to do something like that and tell that story. Could be the one thing that he waits for in his retirement run. Why do we have to do it now? If he could be used to help Rusev and get Rusev to where he needs to be, because he's not hitting it yet. Why would anybody look at that and turn away from that idea? Because that's exactly what needs to be done. That's where I think it should go. So we'll see what happens. Sheamus beat Rusev in 15 minutes. Very good stuff. And the crowd, I just wish they were a little bit more lively for what these two guys did. Byron Saxton. He interviewed El Grande Americano. I didn't know Ludwig Kaiser spoke Spanish. Now, I don't know if it's good or bad Spanish, but I heard non-English words come out of El Grande Americano. Kaiser was speaking Spanish before he was interrupted by rudely interrupted by Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee called him fake. He called him someone who's disrespecting Lucha Libre. All of a sudden, Kaiser pie-faced him, pushed him away, they brawled, and officials quickly broke it up. That would not be the last we saw of El Grande Americano. WWE is really ramping up the hype for this WWE Unreal. They aired a sneak peek of Unreal. It was a backstage clip of the Royal Rumble, where Tozawa was taken out of the Royal Rumble and needed to be replaced in the Royal Rumble. They showed a clip of I Show Speed being told by Triple H, Speed, you're in the Rumble. That was before he was cut in half, where he was Mortal Kombat fatality'd by Braun Breaker inside the Royal Rumble. Footage provided really nothing but Triple H telling Speed to go out there, he's now in the Rumble, and they cut it right as Speed made his way through the curtain. So that's their tease. That's their hype for WWE Unreal. We'll talk about Unreal and how Seth Rollins could potentially be factored into Unreal tomorrow on TNT. You guys don't think that with Unreal and the hype machine around Unreal and the promotional material around Unreal, you don't think that WWE is potentially thinking, man, maybe we should absolutely work the fans with their injury on Seth Rollins? You don't think that they're filming Unreal Seth Rollins with the injury and how all this creative is taking place? Sounds like a good episode if you ask me. We'll see what happens there. Just a thought. Just a thought. Sounds unreal to me, says Sidro. Yes, it does. Lyra Valkyria, she confronted Bayley. Supposedly Bayley went to Adam Pearce and asked for a tag team title match tonight. Bayley and Lyra versus Roxanne and Raquel. Lyra was confused, but Bayley said they were finally getting the match that they were supposed to get at WrestleMania. Lyra said she beat Bayley's ass last week and was focused on SummerSlam. Lyra wondered what game she was playing. Bayley acted like everything was cool and said, I would see you in the ring. Yes, we got Lyra and role model. Yes. Unfortunately, we had to hear role model on Raw again. Bayley is clearly looking to take Lyra off of her game. Bayley is not really acting the heel, but away from the camera, through her actions and decisions, she's definitely acting like a heel. Now, I don't know if this is going to be Bayley turning heel. We already have Becky as a heel. But maybe Becky goes away for a little bit after she drops the title to Lyra at SummerSlam, and Bayley is the new heel on Monday Night Raw. I don't know. Can't turn everybody heel, but the babyface side on Monday Night Raw is much deeper than the heel side. So we have Naomi, Becky, and Bayley as a heel on Monday night. I mean, that's a solid trifecta of heels there. That was coming up a little bit later on in the show. We go right to a men's tag team match. Triple threat tag team number one contenders match. This was the New Day versus Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro of the LWO and the Creeds. The Creed brothers with Ivy Nile. Again, I wish I cared a little bit more about the SmackDown and Raw Tag Team divisions. I don't. I care about certain performers, certain talents, certain teams. But as a division, as a whole, I don't. It's very difficult for me to actually care. There's no real substantial story. There's no real match that I'm dying to see come out of this tag team division. This is why I think it's such a great idea to pair Sheamus and Rusev together on Monday night. It would instantly ignite some sort of competition in the division. We'll give the division a serious shot in the arm. New Day is boring. Been there, done that with the New Day. I did not really think the New Day were going to win this match. If they did, I mean, I didn't really want to see that again with the Judgment Day. The Creeds, we've seen that as well. If I had to choose just based off personal preference, I probably would have went the Creeds. We didn't get the Creeds, and we didn't get the New Day winning this. The LWO won this match. Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro won this match and are now the #1 contenders for the Tag Team Championships. This went about 9 minutes. Again, not really a lot of time with these teams, especially with a commercial break, to really get completely involved here. But Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods set up Joaquin Wilde for their finish, the Midnight Hour. Wilde chucked Woods out of the ring, caught Kingston in his schoolboy for the 1, 2, 3. Now, Grande Americano and Dragon Lee rolled in the back earlier. Like I said before, that wasn't the last.
Alright, I'm gonna stop the video. Alright. I'm gonna end the video right here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. Hit that like button, leave a comment. Please subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comment section below. I'm gonna end the video right here. I made it long enough. Until next time, this is Jacob Cat 2024.